Hello, this is my final project video for CS120 Spring Semester 2022. My name is Luke Brown, and I made a little video game called Sharpshooter for my final project. First I'm just gonna play the game a couple times, and then I'll scroll through some of the code that makes it work and talk about it a little bit. So I'm just gonna run it, and it's gonna open a graphics window, and there's some instructions on the screen. There's also instructions on how to play in the README file, but I tried to put all the instructions you need to play the game in the opening screen here. So you just type in the name of the whatever you want saved in the file for your name, and then you click enter, and you can aim with the arrow keys. When you shoot the targets, they disappear and they respawn on the left. You can see my score and the time are counting, and the small targets are worth 2 points and the big ones are worth 1 point. So I got 10 points that time, and the high score by anyone was 18 by Arnold. And that's all saved in a .txt file. So if I were to get the high score right now, it would reset the high score, and then it would say by Luke. So to end your game, you just hit the escape key. And then if we go in here, all the way at the bottom, we can see that's my recent score. So this is graphics.cpp, which runs the graphics portion of the game and pretty much plays the whole game in this file. We have the 3 different screens you need to play the game, all the different colors for drawing different shapes, initiating shapes for the user, the bullet, all of the sight. And then we have information about the angle of where the bullet is aiming on the turret. So that starts at 90, so you start horizontal, and then you can adjust that. These are all pre-written strings that get displayed at the beginning and at the end and in the play screen, just for the text in the graphics window. This starts the file stream for the score log input-output. Somebody just screamed. I hope you didn't hear that. Alright, so this is where we draw initially the 4 targets. These are the 2 larger ones, the 2 with the outer radius of 30. So each target is just made of 3 circles. Like, for the first target, which is a smaller one, the big blue circle is radius 15, and then the red one, or the white one, is the middle one, and it's radius 8, and then the tiny red one in the middle is 4. This makes the user the little white turret dome in the bottom of the screen. Initiating the bullet, the little sight, which is what you can see on the turret while the bullet is in the air. So you can still see where you're aiming, even when the bullet is like not currently loaded on top of the barrel. So for the first conditional in the display function, we have if S is equal to start, so that's for the opening screen where it has the instructions and you can type in your name. This is all graphics initiating. And then these are typing all the different messages that we looked at up at the top that were some of those strings that just give the different instructions for the user. And then this is where it prints out the name. So the name vector is initially empty, but as you type in your name, there's character sensors that we'll see later that are actively looking for character strokes. So as soon as you type in the letters, it populates the name vector, and then they immediately get printed by this function onto the graphics window. And then if S equals play, that's when we go to the screen with the targets and the user, and that's where you play the game. So this draws all 4 of the targets at their preset initial spots, and then we're drawing the user and all the different things that we need. This for loop detects when a bullet hits a target. So we're just basically checking if the difference between the centers is less than like the difference of the radiuses. So it works out so that it's pretty accurate when you hit a target. Sometimes one will disappear if you're like really close to it and you don't actually hit it, but for the most part, if you miss one by enough, it doesn't disappear. So it works pretty good. So if that condition is met, that means one of them is hit, and that's going to reset this Boolean to false. And this checks if the target is a small target, in which case you get 2 points added to your score. Otherwise, it was a big target and you only get 1 point added. And then this is creating a new Y value for the target for when it gets respawned on the left of the screen. It takes a random value from the standard library and does the modulo operator to make sure that the target appears in the top 3/4 of the screen. Right here. So it's not going to be like right at the bottom going right over where the user is. It's going to be like at least far enough up so that you can shoot it. And then these 3 lines reset each circle in that target that you hit to the new Y value, and the X is -15, so it's just off the side of the screen, and then it like comes on immediately afterwards. This prints your score on the screen while you're playing, and it updates whenever you hit a target. And then this prints the 15-second clock that ticks down as you play. And then finally we have the finish screen. So this just makes sure that it only logs your score 1 time in the file, so you don't get repeats of score by accident, because that was happening. So it opens the text in the append mode right here. It opens the file and reads in, or it writes the name to the file, and then it writes the score, and then it closes the file. And then it sets this to true so that this doesn't go again. And then we have the messages that display on the finishing screen in the graphics window. These two little for loops are displaying the score that you got, and then this one goes into the file and gets the high score that's from everybody that's played a game and gets their name and their score and prints it to the screen. So it's basically looping through all of them, and if the score at wherever it is in the loop is greater than the high score, it's resetting them, and then it's resetting the name as well. And then these two print the name of the high scorer and their score. Or this is the one that prints their name. Now we have the sensors for the keyboard. So this, if escape is ever pressed, it ends. So if you're in the start screen and you press enter, then S is set to play, and then you go to the next screen. And then if you press one of these characters, basically this means it can be any letter, uppercase or lowercase, and some symbols, and then it pushes back that character to the name vector, which gets printed in while you're typing. The left and right keys reset the theta value, or they increment or decrement it. And then it basically does a little trigonometry to set the bullet and the barrel in the right spot. It just says shoot to true if you press the up key. This is what makes the bullet move, and it goes at whatever angle the theta value was when you shot it. This is the target timer. It makes sure that the targets only move if you're in the play screen, so that they will be at their initial positions when you start, and they won't move if you spend a little time in the start screen reading the directions. This tells them to reset to the left of the screen if they move off the screen, so they stay in a nice loop. This is the timer for the on-screen clock, and if the time left is less than or equal to 0, the screen is set to finish, and if S is in the play state, then the time left is gonna decrement. This is where we call all the functions, and the program is run. You can see the header file. But other than that, that is pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy playing the game. Good luck trying to get a high score. Let me know if you do. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.